the Inland Sports TV show. Geoff Gorham. My name is Pep Fernandez. Our first show of 2019.
Hey, the last time we did a show, I was laying on a bed in Colorado.
That sounds about right, yeah.
We did our show, and you were all focused and doing. I was
very serious. I take everything very seriously.
I was wearing my gym shorts and wearing my headphones and laying on my bed in the hotel room. That was a long trip.
That was Colorado Springs, I believe, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was one of the 4 nights.
It? Yeah, it was. I was all confused. That was a crazy trip.
4 nights, 4 hotels, and yeah, very long.
Yeah, so UCR had a road trip to Air Force in Western Michigan, but we are back here live in studio. Our first show of 2019. We've got a lot to get to. We're going to get to a lot of high school basketball, Geoff, as we're going to run down. Also, we're going to preview the Rancho Verde versus Notre Dame, the game tonight. We're going to preview that one. We're going to take a look at some of the top teams in the Inland Empire. We're going to do our top 10 rankings, some players to watch as well. We're also going to get to UCR head coach David Patrick. He's going to be live in studio with us as they will take on Cal State Northridge in their Big West Conference opener. That is Wednesday night. As always, you can watch the game on Big West TV. Listen to it at GoHighlanders.com. So we're going to have Coach Patrick live with us in studio to kind of break down this contest, his first conference game of the season.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, we've seen peaks and valleys with this team, but it's a young team, new coach, new system, but hitting in the Big West Conference, I like their chances.
So we're going to talk about that as well. Also college football news, because our guy, the pride of Cardinal City, Alexander Madison out of San Bernardino, the junior running back for Boise State, big question marks whether he was going to enter the NFL draft. He is. He will forego his senior season at Boise State. He will enter the NFL draft. I texted with him a little bit. He's super excited. And it's one of those deals where, school's great. And Alex is like a 4.0 straight A kid. He's bilingual in Spanish. Yep. I'm sure he'll go back and get his degree. But as of right now, it's getting ready for the NFL draft, the combine, the pro day, all that stuff.
I'm just concerned if he's going to be able to play outside of the blue turf. I mean, he's been on blue turf for the last 3 years.
He's so used to it.
But we've had, I think, 5 straight running backs have left after their 3rd year at Boise State. Now all have gone on to play in the NFL.
Yeah, it's kind of been this trend at Boise State. You have a huge junior season, which Alex had, and then you bypass your senior season, go straight to the NFL. So Boise State's had this long run of running backs, and Alexander Madison is just the next in line. So we got details on that, other football news as well. But Geoff, we want to start off the show again. This is kind of a serious note. We love the Inland Empire. We love talking sports. And I think what we enjoy most about it is the fact that this show and our little inland sports community, it gives us an opportunity to build relationships, bring people together, connect people. And I know this guy. He's the head coach at La Sierra High School. His name is Justin Norman. He's been on our show several times. He's a friend of mine. He is a dear friend of yours. You guys go way back. He recently lost his wife. And in a tragic situation, it was heartwarming to see the inland sports community come together in this time. And a lot of people are making contributions. They're supporting the Norman family. He played his high school ball at Norco High School. He went on to La Sierra University, where his wife Megan also played at Norco and La Sierra University. And Geoff, I'll let you speak on this as well, because you obviously know Coach Norman and his family much more than I do. But all these different basketball programs, high schools in the area, they're all rallying around trying to support the Norman family in this tragic situation here.
Well, Justin Norman was my assistant coach at La Sierra High School. His wife Megan, they know each other since they dated since they were 15 years old. One of my closest friends. I have a very small group of friends, and I consider Justin one of the closest. Looking at the background, there's 2 of my best men in my wedding.
There's Coach Norman in the white shirt.
And Mark Gard. Was over at Hoopa Valley. It was a tragic loss, let's just say the least. He's one of the nicest human beings possible. His wife was even nicer. She leaves behind Julia and Jake, 8 and 6 years old. Great family. But the best thing I can say, the best tribute I could say is, like you said, the rallying of the community. This is a sense of community. Every school in the River Valley League is making their gate donations to the Megan Norman Foundation to kind of help them get through these hard times. But sports in general, and I think this is the best part about the Inland Empire is, forget all the political, the left or right. is that we've seen in the last year, we've seen so many positive things come from such negative situations.
Yeah.
And it is great to see that, Martin Luther King, Corona, Norco, who spearheaded this, Hillcrest, Santa Rosa Academy, Temescal Canyon, the list goes on and on and on. Haruba Valley, they're all going to donate to this cause. And it's heartwarming. It's a sad time, but I think this will help the Norman family, his children, his family. He's got a great support system, kind of help alleviate some of that pain that they're going through. And I just want to say I love Justin Norman. I love the family. Megan is a dear friend of ours. She'll be sorely missed. I will miss her smile. I will miss her love of rock music. And our hearts and souls really go out for Justin and his 2 young children.
Yeah, it should be worth mentioning. You mentioned the rock music. She was a big fan of KCAL 96.7 FM, which I saw even on Twitter. KCAL was tweeting out the GoFundMe page for the Norman family, which was really cool to see. We do have a graphic. Anthony, punch it up whenever you want, because you mentioned the Centennial versus Norco game, which is tonight in Big 8 League play. Coach Norman was a star out there at Norco High School, and they're going to donate the gate tonight. And that's a big game when you got Centennial in your gym. Centennial against Norco. So if you're looking for a game, and again, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention all of them, but as Geoff mentioned, there's games all over the Inland Empire where people are contributing here. Ramona versus Hillcrest, Santa Rosa Academy, you said King High School, Hillcrest High School, but that game between Norco and Centennial was kind of the first one out, especially because that's where Coach Norman played his high school ball. That's where Megan went to school as well. So, our thoughts and prayers with Coach Norman and his kids, especially. But, if there's something we can be said about, our little inland sports family and the IE sports community, they rally, they come together in a time like this. Because, we're both married. We both have kids. It's just a tragic situation. I can't even really fully wrap my brain around something like this.
No, and the positives are, we've seen so many stories. We've talked about, there's, we can go down those Taylor Dawkins.
Yeah, I think we have a picture of Taylor Dawkins here. You guys can punch up whenever.
Taylor Dawkins was the National Softball Player of the Year. Goes to
in the nation, like the best high school player in the nation.
You and I became very close to her. I become close with Debbie and Rick Dawkins and Taylor as well. She plays at Cal State Fullerton, going through cancer herself. And we've seen the nation, kind of surround her. And I think sports has really helped her. I think it's helped her family. I think sports has made her strong. Everybody's rallied around her, and she's done well. These are just some of the good things that aren't sports related, but they're community related.
Yes. All right. So, and also another, kind of a story that we kind of gravitated towards, and this was during football, and we have a little bit of video of that as well, is Alex Ruiz, the quarterback at Linfield Christian High School.
Unbelievable story.
Lost his leg, a freak injury. They had to amputate his leg. He comes back for his senior season, actually throws a touchdown pass in a game. Here's the touchdown pass here. I know, like Drew Brees, there was a lot of people that reached out to the Linfield Christian football family, and specifically Alex Ruiz. So, again, the Inland Empire is a very unique place in that we genuinely care about each other. It goes beyond what colors on your uniform. They actually, care about everyone. So I know it's tough right now for the Norman family, but we just want to let Coach Norman know that, we're praying and thinking about him and his family. And I know a lot of other people are as well.
Yeah, and look at what it's done. It's really rallied Linfield Christian. They were so successful this year, I think partly in due to the spirit and the energy and the hard work that Alex put in. One other quick thing I want to touch on. Billy Cardosi, his family.
Yeah.
They tried so hard for so long to have a baby. They end up adopting a beautiful baby, Ailish.
Yes.
And they really rallied around the family. And look at the success that they had. And I base that on the good things that happen in life. Coach Cardosi and his wife, Raina, they have a brand new baby. And that was a rallying point, not just sports, but it rallied the team. And I think as a community as a whole, we've really shined this year. especially.
Yeah, it's transcendent beyond, especially,
yes.
The lines of the playing field. So anyways, again, there's a bunch of high school basketball games in the area. Many of them are donating their gates to the Norman family who lost their wife and their mother, Megan, here. So if you can make it out to a game, including tonight, Centennial against Norco, we'd really appreciate it. Let's pack the stands.
Yes.
And raise some money for the Norman family. In fact, and again, KCal Rocks tweeted it out. We'll tweet it out as well. There's a GoFundMe page. If you can't make it out to a game, but you'd like to make a donation to the Norman family, there's the big game tonight at Norco High School. Excuse me. So if you can get out there, great. And if you can't, we'll make sure we tweet out the GoFundMe link as well. So make sure you're following Inland Sports on Twitter at @Inland_Sports. All right, let's talk a little high school basketball because we do have some big games tonight, Geoff. The biggest game on the slate. And this is a huge game. We saw it from a mile away,
yes,
and it's finally here. The Rancho Verde High School making that short trip into Riverside to take on Notre Dame. First place in the Ivy League on the line. Star power all over the place. Great players in this game. Two of the top programs in the IE, basically all of Southern California as well.
In fact, I think they're both nationally ranked at this time, which is incredible. I think Rancho Verde might be ranked a little higher. They've got studs. They've got Torrey San Antonio, who played, wasn't he on the Puerto Rican national?
Yeah, he was in our studio. He played for, the under-17 Puerto Rican national team.
Then you have Holland, who's going to Fresno State in the fall. There's some big-time Division I athletes playing in this game tonight. And I'll tell you what, you couldn't ask for a better league right now. That is a tough, tough league.
Listen, don't sleep on Riverside Poly. We're looking at highlights of Poly against Notre Dame when they met a little bit earlier this season in league play. Poly wasn't at full strength. So I know we're talking about Notre Dame and Rancho Verde battling for first place in the Ivy League. And it might, ultimately come down between the Mustangs and the Titans for that league championship. But watch out for Riverside Poly. They're going to be at full strength. Lamont Butler's going to get his. But Notre Dame won this one, their first meeting. But the Ivy League, Geoff, and I think this is probably a topic that will carry over in next show. The Ivy League top to bottom might be the toughest high school basketball league in the Inland Empire, but also even beyond our borders of the IE, maybe even in the entire southern section. Yeah,
you can rank it up there with the Trinity League out in Orange County very easily. Anytime you're talking about John W. North, and John W. North has been a staple for the last 40 years, I'm going to say, under Coach Mike Barty. And right now, they're struggling just to win a game in that league. That tells you how dominant this league is.
Unbelievable. So tonight, the Rancho Verde, Notre Dame. This one's at the Golden Dome of Notre Dame, but they're going to meet again in the final week of the regular season. In fact, it's the final game of the season. It's going to be at the Rancho Verde High School, which is just down the road from here. And I think we just talked Johnny Nunez into doing that game live.
Better
here
do
on
that.
Teen Vision, right, Johnny? Just nod yes, because that's the game. Rancho
pay-per-view. That's pay-per-view right there.
Johnny's going to charge you to watch it.
Darn right, I would, for sure.
All right, we also have some rankings we're going to quickly look at here. The top 10 rankings for high school basketball teams in the Inland Empire, at least in our inland sports coverage area. Geoff, the top, I would say 6, 7 teams kind of fell into place. After that, it got a little muddled because we don't have Roosevelt on this list, but I think you can make a case that Roosevelt will end up on this list ultimately. I know they lost a tough one to Corona in the land of the Big 8, but right now the top 2 teams, Rancho Christian, Centennial, I don't think anyone's going to argue against that. Then you've got those 3 Ivy League schools, the Rancho Verde, Notre Dame, Riverside Poly, followed by Temecula Valley, the top team out of the Southwestern League, Redlands East Valley, your San Bernardino Kiwanis champion, and then we got Corona, we got Murrieta Mesa. And don't sleep on Sebastian Mendoza and Hillcrest. That guy can pile up the points in a hurry.
Well, look at it this way. Rancho Christian ranked number 2 in the nation. Centennial ranked number 12 in the nation. And Rancho Verde ranked 37th in the nation. Those are all just 20 miles apart from each other. And they're all ranked nationally. Pretty incredible.
Great high school basketball this year in the Inland Empire. So we were coming up with some names, like players to watch this season, because we got a bunch of them. And Geoff, there's a lot of underclassmen that are players to watch. So guys that aren't necessarily seniors, this is our last chance to watch them. Some underclassmen that we want to follow. I know Lamont Butler at Riverside Poly.
Yes.
He's been in our studio. He's won. Torrey San Antonio, Jackson Turner at Rancho Verde. Who are some of the other guys we were talking about.
The Mobley brothers, remember there's two of them.
Oh, there's two.
One is graduating this year, going to USC. The next one, I'll be honest with you, if they get rid of this draft thing, he'll be in the top 5 picks. He could be a lottery pick. He is the best player I've seen in years. Anywhere, he's that good. There are some big-time players.
They call him the next Jeff Gorham. That's what I heard.
That's what I've heard. You have DJ Davis over at Centennial.
Yeah.
Torrey San Antonio, we mentioned over at Rancho Verde. Holland over at Notre Dame. There's a couple guys. There's also a freshman who's over at, I want to say Loma Linda Academy, who they say is the best freshman in the country. So there's some guys out there that are playing some basketball and just underclassmen.
Which is crazy, because take, for example, a guy like Lamont Butler. I feel like we've been talking about him for years.
Yeah.
And he's only a junior, but we've been talking about him for years.
And then you have a 6'5" kid who's a junior, Jalen Clark, who's also at Centennial.
Yeah.
Dominic Harris, the point guard for that Rancho Christian team, which, like you said, is ranked 2nd in the country. He is somebody to look at as well.
You know, and the CIF Southern Section just released its Open Division watch list.
Yes.
So teams that they think at the end of the season will be in the Open Division, which is the best of the best. And the top 5 teams in our inland sports rankings are all Open Division watch list teams. Rancho Christian, Centennial, and of course Riverside Poly, Rancho Verde, Notre Dame, in no particular order. Because for the watch list, they don't rank them or anything. They just kind of throw them all in a lump and they say these are the teams that we're keeping an eye on that could be in the Open Division at the end of the year. Because if they don't, they'll slot them in probably Division 1.
Yes.
To be honest, if they're not Open Division. So that's our high school football or high school basketball look. But we will have later in the show again. We're going to talk college football, and we've also next got UCR basketball coach David Patrick. Jeff, it was a long road trip. They bounced back with a big win against Bethesda.
Big win.
And it
was
felt
huge.
good. And it felt good.
Holy smokes! It was a bludgeoning. Bethesda was taken down to the mat really, really quickly. It was a rough one for Bethesda.
Yeah, it was a big win for UCR. Now they turn their attention, obviously, to the Matadors, which come to town on Wednesday night. Head coach David Patrick will join us live right here in studio when we come back on your favorite show, the Inland Sports TV show.
What's going on, guys? This is Ray Bass from Boost Performance Training. You're watching the Inland Sports Show with the one and only Fernandez.
The Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Spoiled. Quick, quality oil change. Spoil yourself and your car at Spoiled. Kin Sporting Goods. They have all of your sporting gear needs, Letterman's jackets, and team uniforms. Catalano Motors in Corona off of Temescal Canyon Road. You're going to save thousands of dollars at Catalano Motors. And Boost Performance Training with Coach Ray Bass. Athletes of all levels and all sports are going to Boost Performance Training in Corona.
Thank God, first of all. I thank the great people that I've got around me that help support me, the people that work for me. As I started, if it wasn't for the people around me, we probably wouldn't be here right now, but I've got a great staff. I've got great people that do stuff for us outside the store, and we've been very, very fortunate. Our service is impeccable, and we just keep trying to get better every year. We can do online stuff for your teams, as well as, like I said, the screen printing, the embroidery. We also have 3 women that do extra sewing for us, like tackle tool on uniforms, or the bling or rhinestones for different shirts for the ladies. That's why we have certain racks just for certain schools, and the fun about that is that it turns into other schools that may come in here that aren't as close, that we can do stuff for them as well. We've had very, very good customers throughout the years, and it's just been a blast.
Focus on the customer here. Believe it or not, that is the biggest thing for customers on an oil change. They just want the convenience of coming in, driving in, getting it done, and driving out. We just greet them, get them going, and they're done in about 10 minutes or so. We don't push any sales on them. We do the oil change, and I think that's what sets us apart is our customer service. Vacuumed and cleaned your windshield for you as well. Everything's looking pretty good. Come into us one time, believe me, we'll spoil you and you'll be ready to come back the next time.
And welcome back to the Inland Sports TV show. We've been talking a lot of high school basketball, but Geoff, there's a huge game right here at #the Riv. The Riv raised me as UC Riverside will take on Cal State Northridge to open up Big West Conference play on Wednesday night. Join us live in studio. We're with this guy everywhere. We travel with this guy. We break bread with this guy.
I see him more than I see my own wife, for gosh sakes. I'm starting to find him much more attractive with that bald head of his.
Well, something you got in common over here.
I shaved, I always had a head of hair until this year I shaved off just to be with you, Coach.
So just to
be with you, Coach.
Oh, man. Too funny.
But we got David Patrick here live in studio with us to kind of break down, the season thus far and also look ahead to tomorrow night as they take on the Matadors at the SRC Arena. Coach, big win against Bethesda. You guys were supposed to beat Bethesda, but what were some of those things that you guys worked on in that game that can hopefully carry over to that CSUN game tomorrow night?
Yeah, look, I think for me as a coach, obviously, yes, you don't know what games you're going to win, but that was one we thought we'd win just looking at them on the schedule. But where we tried to improve on was taking care of the basketball and sharing the ball, which we've done throughout the year, but it really showed up in that game. I think the 3 turnovers and the 31 assists was big for us in terms of development of our team. And then the rebounding. I mean, you guys are with me all the time, like you say, and I've been harping on rebounding, but to see Minnow go out and get double-digit rebounds and see Zach Watson and Johnny Kennedy go out and get the rebounds that we know they can go and get just gives us some confidence going into league play here tomorrow.
And speaking of Zach Watson, what is his progression, man? I mean, we've seen him, his first game as a Division I player, and to now, he's a completely different player than when he started the season.
Look, I think he's been great for us, and I think you've been around the game a long time. I think the game slows down as you play more and more games. And like any freshman early on, he was a little frantic, played a little too fast. And now that he's played enough minutes and played in a lot of meaningful games, the game slowed down for him, and he's been able to make plays the way I knew he could. And it's coming on at the right time for us with league play right here.
I kind of like that small lineup too, when a Johnny's out there and Zach Watson's out there. I know you like to have Callum or Minnow out there, the big guys, but it's kind of fun to see that smaller lineup because they seem like they've been pretty productive.
I mean, they gel well together. They make us a lot faster. I think we were hard to guard with those guys out there, but it's hard to do for long periods of time. We can press a little bit better when they're out there on the floor, but I keep thinking that where we want to go, we need Callum and Minnow to really be stalwarts for us there in the post.
Yeah, because you really do have 2 separate teams with the smalls, and then you bring in the bigs. You're going to need the bigs, though, in conference because UC Irvine has bigs. Northridge has a very good big player. We'll talk about it here in a minute. So you can shake that lineup quite a bit with the guys you have.
No, definitely, and I think versatility is what you want as a coach. We can play big ball if we need to, and then we can downsize and switch a lot of stuff defensively when we do play Zach and a Johnny. So it's a luxury to have, and I'm glad that they're coming on at the right time for us.
So we're looking at a CSUN team coming to town on Wednesday night. Coach, they have 2 of the top 3 leading scorers in the Big West Conference. I mean, this is a team, going back to last season, were they the only team that did not make the Big West tournament last year, right? Yeah. But you look at them this year, it feels like a different CSUN team. They got a brand new coach, Coach Gottfried. They've got 2 of the top 3 leading scorers. They've got Coach Herrick and Mo Williams, a former NBA guy, on the bench. I mean, this isn't your typical CSUN team. Like, this looks like a very much improved team.
Look, I think it starts with their head coach, Coach Gottfried. Obviously, his resume speaks for itself. Being at Alabama, being at NC State. You talked about Coach Herrick and his legendary status here in California, UCLA national championship coach, and they have a good team, and they're playing well at the right time. And the good thing is I think we're coming on at the right time. And so you're talking about two new coaches who are new to the league. But I think we both have two teams that are different than they were last year. I know we got into the tournament, but probably didn't finish near the top of the standings like we would have wanted last year. But you're talking about two new coaches and myself and Coach Gottfried. And so it should be a good challenge for us tomorrow night there at the SRC.
Now, how important is it to get, win right out of the gate, especially at home? You guys have been so dominant at home. A little suspect at times on the road just because you've been so far away. But how important is it for you guys to get out of the gate strong?
I think in any league you want to win your home game.
Santa Barbara, it'd feel a lot better to go up the coast with a win already under your belt as opposed to trying to get that first win in a tough place, the Thunderdome, which is never an easy place to play.
Yeah, we don't want to overlook, Northridge, but Santa Barbara are really good. They're big, just like Irvine, athletic, and he's done a great job with that group. So it'll be a challenging week for us, but I'm hopeful we can get over the hump tomorrow night and get ready for Santa Barbara there on Saturday.
How's your first year been? Has it been fun? Has it been some moments where you're like, I wasn't expecting that? Or, has there been any moments along the way as the head coach that, you think you know what to expect and then you actually go through it and you're like, okay, now I know what this is like?
Well, you've been on the road with us, so every day, every day there's something new, right? There's something new, and it's a new challenge. And sometimes they say don't sweat the small stuff that comes up, and that's what I've tried to do. You think you know all the answers as an assistant coach, you don't have a clue until you get into that 6 inches to the left, as they say, and. But it's been great. I think we got a great group of guys, and I think you've been around them. I think they bought into what we're preaching, and even though the score line doesn't show up the same way in a positive light every night, the guys are buying in, and we have a good group, including you guys. Like you want good people around you when you're on these challenges as coaches, and I have that. And I'm just hopeful now with conference play that all the work they've put in and we've all put in will translate into wins for us.
I know Geoff can speak to this, but just as the head coach, everything falls on you. So if someone's not feeling well, someone forgot their shoes, they're going to come to you, right? Like, hey, Coach Patrick, I don't have my shoes. Like, I'm not feeling too well. I can't go. Like, as the head coach, it ends up on you, right, Geoff?
Hey, the best part of this, I'm no longer a head coach. I can just talk about you guys, and then I get to go home to my wife, and she goes, hey, how'd you do? I go, hey, we didn't win. We didn't lose. I didn't do anything. But is it fun? I mean, are you having fun being the head coach?
It's fun, but it's not fun like, even though we're playing Bethesda, you find out your center's got fever an hour before the game. He's not playing. You go on the road, and someone forgets their ID, and it's just stuff that kids do, and it happens naturally. But I'm having fun doing it because I got a great staff with me first and foremost, and even when we lose, we don't take it too hard. It's just how can we get better, and let's come back and get better the next day. And we have guys that want to get better. They live in the gym, and it starts with Dikembe Martin, the local product. He's not only a good player, he's a great worker, and his play and his work has helped those other young guys advance quicker than they probably would have.
Having a chance to kind of, pull the curtain back a little bit and travel with you guys. I know after a game, win or lose, you're already breaking down film of what you guys did well or maybe not so well in that game and looking ahead to the next one. After a tough loss, is that kind of therapeutic just to go through that game and be like, listen, we got to figure out what we did wrong because we're already looking ahead to the next game, like to just kind of get it over with and break down that film?
Definitely. I think you need closure on any time you have a setback or a win because we don't want to get too high or get too low. But I think we have the same routine, and you've been around us, win or lose. And so we try to give them feedback on where they've done well and where they've done bad and where we need to improve. And we try to do that straight after a game while it's fresh in our mind and then move past it. I've been a part of staffs and even as a player where you harp so much on the loss that you sometimes lose another game because you're worried about the previous game, and you have to have closure to that. Or you can, after you win a game and you have so much fun winning, you forget about what got you there. And so we try to have closure to win or lose, probably the night after the game, and then move on.
Well, Northridge is going to be a big one Wednesday night, conference opener. Coach, without giving away your secrets, obviously probably trying to slow down. Is it Diane?
Diane.
I think it's like Lamine Diane.
All I know is the guy has put up 30-plus points several times and like 20 rebounds.
He leads
the guy's
the
a
Big
beast
West in scoring and rebounding, and he's a freshman, right?
Yes.
So without giving away all your secrets, like I would assume stopping him is going to be near the top of the list.
Well, it is, and I told my players today. I said, "Well, every other coach has tried to stop him, so I don't know whether I have the formula." But I think it's making him shoot a lot of shots to get those points. I don't think after watching him on film, you're going to just be able to shut him down. I think he had 30 shots the other night to get 35 points, and so that's a lot of shots. And like you said, he goes and gets his misses. He rebounds at a high rate. So we got to make him shoot tough shots. And then they have another great scorer in Gomez, who was freshman of the year last year in the league, who can go for 20 or 30 a night. And so we got to do a good job on those two guys and make them shoot tough shots tomorrow night.
Well, the one thing I can say, following you in this first year is, you came into the season, you hope for certain things, but I will say this: the best coaching job I've seen in this area in a long time is you've given your teams the best opportunities to stay in ball games with young talent, new guys. And I think that's a compliment to you and your staff. You've done a great job, Coach. And I'm looking forward to not just the rest of this season, but the next few years to what UCR has in store based on your coaching style.
No, I appreciate you. A lot of it is, we do have great players that take on the schemes that we give them.
Yes.
Because we're not the most talented team, and that's not a detriment to my guys. We'll get there. But they work hard, and they listen to everything I ask them to do, and they take in the schemes that we talk about, and it's a great place to be. You guys talked about it on your show, Riverside and the Inland Empire is a great place, and I can't wait till we really get this thing rocking.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, so it's Wednesday night. So if you can, don't watch or listen to Geoff online. Come see us. Come down to the gym. Come down to the SRC Arena and see UCR tip everything off against Cal State Northridge. Jim Herrick will be in the house. I covered Herrick when he was the coach of the Bakersfield Jam.
Wow.
Of the old D League.
Hey, now
he was great.
Here's a little promotion here. The kids that were at basketball camp this summer.
Coach Gorham.
Coach Gorham. I was there. I'm gonna wear my camp T-shirt tomorrow night, and if you wear your camp T-shirt, you get in free.
But you're wearing yours?
No, but I'm gonna wear a suit, but I'll wear it underneath the suit. But if you went to basketball camp this summer at UC Riverside basketball camp, Coach Patrick Camp, make sure you wear your T-shirt and get in free. Good deal. You can't beat that.
Can't beat it. And your guest gets in for $5.
That's a pretty good deal.
So let's pack the place.
Come on. We need to. It's a great arena, great atmosphere, and we need all the support from the people in the Inland Empire to come out and support us.
All right, Coach, we're going to close it like this. Geoff and I, when we go on the road trips, we always like to shoot a little bit of video behind the scenes. It's nothing, listen, don't get excited. It's nothing scandalous or crazy. It's basically Geoff and I eating
behind
food
the scenes,
and going into our hotel rooms and whatnot like that. So, Coach, we appreciate the time. We'll see you tomorrow night. Best of luck against Northridge.
Thank you, guys.
And I think you make a cameo or two in the video.
Yes, he does.
So let's wrap up this. This is behind the scenes of our recent trip with UCR Hoops to Air Force and also to Western Michigan. We'll be right back here on the Inland Sports Show.
What's going on, guys? Coach Bass here from Boost Training. We have a number of different options to help athletes develop here at the BPC, whether it's our off-season strength programming or it's our general sessions and even our one-on-one training sessions with either myself or one of our coaches here. So if you need that detailed coaching, book your one-on-one session today. Please feel free to contact me directly on Instagram at Boost Training or on Twitter, Boost_Training, or contact me directly here at the gym. Our number is 951-532-4904.
We're small, family-owned, strive for quality pre-owned vehicles. We're not a volume dealer, and we take every deal as personal to us. We're a low-stress environment. We're not a pressure sales house. If you want to shop us, you're more than welcome to shop us. We have, like I said, great rates, competitive financing, a lot of one-owner, clean Carfax, clean title vehicles. As you see, we have Carfax everywhere. That's most important to us, to educate our customers before they make a purchase. We're right off of Ontario, right off a couple exits off the 15 freeway, off Cajalco, off El Cerrito, and we're right on the main drag going into Dos Logos and the crossings. We have great financing, we have great lenders that we're using. We do buy, sell, trade, cash for your car. Whatever we need to do to help accommodate the customer, that's what we're here for. We have a little bit of everything. We start at about $69.95 and go all the way up to $100,000. We have Escalades, we have commuters, we have pickup trucks, we have Jeeps, sport utilities, and if we don't have it, our specialty is finding you exactly what you're looking for.
The building here on the Inland Sports Show, and he was just admiring what Geoff was wearing today.
I look pretty dapper today.
You do look pretty good.
I'm going to go blue and gold tomorrow night for the big game.
You and I almost match. Hey, we didn't even plan it, but we almost matched.
Your wife called my wife last night and said, what is Pep wearing? What's Geoff wearing?
Did she dress you, your wife?
Yeah, because I'm colorblind, for God's sake.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, she picks out ties for me and all kinds. We're going to wear tie clips tomorrow.
We are. You got me a tie clip for Christmas.
But the only reason we got tie clips is because my wife saw it on Coach Patrick in one of the interviews.
Yeah, is he still out there? Maybe he's hearing this right now.
So, she was like, oh, man, you got to get a tie clip like Coach Patrick. So she got us both tie clips for Christmas.
So we can match tomorrow.
Matchy.
Matchy. All right, so big thanks to David Patrick, head basketball coach at UC Riverside. The Highlanders taking on Cal State Northridge. Wednesday night, Big West Conference opener. Some football news that we want to get to. And I think we got a picture of him, Alexander Madison, when he came on our show and we were on the radio. He did it several times.
Yes.
Geoff. He is now going to be an NFL running back in just a matter of months. He has decided to forego his senior season at Boise State University and take his talents to the NFL. We kind of thought so, right?
Yeah, we saw the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
In fact, we saw his dad a couple times. And
yeah, we did.
I think we kind of hinted, hey, is he going to go in the NFL? So yeah, we kind of knew. We kind of knew it was coming.
Well, we have some highlights of Alex too. In fact, the last time we saw saw him play in a game.
I know exactly where we were.
It was this game. We were in Valparaiso, Indiana, watching the Mountain West Conference championship game. Alexander Madison scoring a touchdown there. Boise State actually lost to the Bulldogs. Remember that for the conference title game? But Alex had a monster game. I think he had like over 40 carries, 200 yards on the season, over 1,400 yards, 17 touchdowns for the pride of Cardinal City. He was due. He's ready for the NFL. He's a stud. He's going to make some team look like a genius when they take him in the NFL draft. But that game we saw against Fresno in the snow, that was his last real game because, remember, their bowl game got canceled.
Yeah, in fact, I tried to watch the bowl game.
The first responder bowl, if I remember
Yes,
right.
and they canceled the darn game, and I was flipping through the channels for an hour before I figured out, hey, wait, this game was canceled due to lightning.
Yeah, so Alexander Madison will not be back at Boise State for a senior year, taking it to the NFL, and he is ready. Back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons for Boise State. And I don't know, I hate getting caught up in all those mock drafts, like where do they see him going. But I remember looking at one. This was like during the middle of the season, and they had Alex like a 3rd or a 4th round pick, which based on his numbers now at the end of the season, I think his stock is only going up.
Yeah, and think of it this way. The NFL is not real keen right now drafting running backs. So running backs are usually second day nowadays, unless you are a top pick. So
a lot of quarterbacks and offensive linemen, right? I mean, a lot of them.
So he's going to play on Sundays for sure. It's just a matter of where he goes, how early he goes.
All right, another local guy, Jalen Phillips out of Redlands East Valley High School.
He's retired. What are you talking about?
Well, maybe not so quick there, Geoff, because here he is. Not too long ago, he was a U.S. Army All-American coming out of Redlands East Valley. He got to UCLA. He battled through some injuries. I think there was a concussion involved as well. And there were, I don't know if there were official reports, but there was speculation that he was going to just step away from football completely.
In fact, that is what he officially gave his response to UCLA, but now he's asked to transfer, and there's a couple of interesting spots he might land.
Yeah, USC, right, is one.
And Stanford, both within the Pac-12, which I don't know if it makes a whole lot of sense. He might be able to play a little sooner if he goes out of conference, but either way, remember he was the top defensive player in the nation 3 years ago.
He was absolutely amazing at Redlands East Valley. And I remember he went to UCLA, and if I remember correctly, his mom and dad both went to UCLA. Like there was a lot of family ties with the Bruins, but we'd be excited to see Jalen playing again. And if he was playing at USC, we just had Nick Figueroa out of Cajon High School. We saw him at RCC. Remember, RCC played San Bernardino Valley. So Nick Figueroa out of Cajon. He went to Cal Poly for one season, which we saw him up there. Remember, up in San Luis Obispo, we saw Nick up there. Then he came back to RCC, and he parlayed that into a scholarship with USC. So just think, USC could, if Jalen Phillips goes there, they could have Jalen Phillips and Nick Figueroa as the bookends, the defensive ends, or even like outside linebacker on that USC defense sometime soon. But we'll see what Jalen Phillips ends up doing, but it's kind of cool to see him still thinking about football, at least, if he wants to come back.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see him go better than 5-7 or whatever they were this year. He might make.
Was UCLA 5-7?
No, USC was.
USC, because UCLA was even worse, weren't they?
USC, they're in a rebuilding process. Chip Kelly's my guy. They're going to be great here in the next couple of years.
And I know we don't go off the beaten path too much, but USC just lost their offensive coordinator, Cliff Kingsbury, to the Arizona Cardinals, the NFL.
He did a great job. He was there for a month.
He did too. Oh, USC. Okay, all right. And one other local football note as we go to the NFL for this one. DeMonte Casey, and we got highlights of this guy. DeMonte Casey out of Cajon High School, San Diego State University. DeMonte Casey, when it's all said and done, when all the dust settled at the end of the NFL season, tied for the NFL lead in interceptions with 7. And he's not a big guy. He's kind of a little guy, but he plays safety. He flies around. In fact, he got into the starting lineup because of injuries for Atlanta. Can you imagine if the Falcons never put him in there? He's one of the best DBs in the NFL now.
Does he get a ticket to the Pro Bowl is my question.
He didn't.
Come on. Somebody's got to step out so he can step in, because that guy had a monster season. And I'll tell you what, he's going to make a lot more money after the season he just had.
Sure did. He's writing his check for someplace. I mean, look, he made so many big interceptions for the Atlanta Falcons. And again, he plays safety, not the biggest guy in the world, but he plays absolutely huge. So we're fired up for DeMonte Casey, the pride of Cajon High School. co-leader in the NFL for interceptions with 7. All right, let's take a break because when we come back, we've got one more segment. I promised Johnny we'd be out of here by 4. He's going to be very angry back there if we're not done. When we come back, we're going to go inside the Lancers, presented by Magnolia Heating and Cooling. We're going to kind of recap CBU's big win against New Mexico State and hear from the Aquaman.
Oh, he was phenomenal. He had one of the best weeks ever.
Milan Aqua, the WAC Player of the Week. We're going to hear from him as well when we come back on the Inland Sports TV show.
The Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Spoiled. Quick, quality oil change. Spoil yourself and your car at Spoiled. Kin Sporting Goods. They have all of your sporting gear needs, Letterman's jackets, and team uniforms. Catalano Motors in Corona off of Temescal Canyon Road. You're going to save thousands of dollars at Catalano Motors. And Boost Performance Training with Coach Ray Bass. Athletes of all levels and all sports are going to Boost Performance Training in Corona.
Focus on the customer here. Believe it or not, that is the biggest thing for customers on an oil change. They just want the convenience of coming in, driving in, getting it done, and driving out. We just greet them, get them going, and they're done in about 10 minutes or so. We don't push any sales on them. We do the oil change, and I think that's what sets us apart is our customer service. Vacuumed and cleaned your windshield for you as well. Everything's looking pretty good. Come into us one time, believe me, we'll spoil you and you'll be ready to come back the next time.
Ready to get better, ready to fire. And I think that's paying off. We're definitely getting better by the week. So.
And welcome back to the Inland Sports TV show. You just got a little sneak peek there. Geoff, we did some live coverage from the CBU WAC opener against New Mexico State, a team that made the big dance last year.
Holy smokes, that was a great time. I'll tell you what, that was the first time I've seen a basketball game in the Event Center on California Baptist University's campus. Wow. That's all I can say is they put us up in the, we were on center court. We get front row. We did a pregame show. The students aren't even in school, and the place was packed. It was like a Rocky II movie. There was lights, fog machines, laser beams. It was awesome. It was an incredible time.
It was cool. Here was a shot at the end of the game, coming off a win against New Mexico State.
They were up 18 points at one time. It was awesome.
New Mexico State won the WAC last year. They made it to the NCAA tournament, so this was not like your average team. No. And they were the preseason favorite to win the WAC again this year.
They only lost to Kansas, who's ranked number 2 in the nation, by 3 points. They lost 63-60 2 weeks prior to the Cal Baptist game. I was like, holy smokes, this is going to be a tough one. But Cal Baptist played great.
Cal Baptist won this game. In fact, we got some highlights, so Anthony, roll it whenever you want. Geoff, we were out there. We were impressed. We already knew that Milan Aqua was kind of the guy, right? Like, we already knew he was fantastic. In fact, he set a new building record. He dropped 36 points on New Mexico State, which is a new CBU Events Center record. He was fantastic in this game. He's one of the best players we've seen all season long.
Oh, he's phenomenal. And look at that guy right there, Coach Croy. He's nuts, by the way. If you want to go watch basketball and see a coach, just watch him on the sidelines. He's really entertaining.
Yeah, I find myself watching him more than the game?
Oh, man, he's fun. But, man, that Aquaman, as you like to call him, he is fun to watch. Anybody that needs to go out to see good college basketball, go out and watch California Baptist and watch that Aqua play.
So CBU beat New Mexico State 76-68. They built that big double-digit lead. They held on down the stretch. But then on Saturday night, they turned around, they dropped a tough one to Texas Rio Grande Valley, which I just think speaks volumes of Division I college basketball, and maybe even the WAC, because, Jeff, we've seen a lot of those WAC teams. They're pretty good. That's a pretty good basketball conference. There's no easy nights in the WAC.
No, you have Seattle University, who we saw last year, covering the Highlanders. They're a great team. Utah Valley, another phenomenal team. I mean,
Grand Canyon.
The sad thing is, for me and for a lot of people that I talk to in the community, they say, so if Cal Baptist wins the league, do they go to the tournament? And I said, nope.
Not yet.
Not yet, but I hope, and I really do hope, that if CBU does a great job and they win the WAC in these next couple of years, that the NCAA will grant them in. It just makes sense because they are on the verge or on the cusp of making a tournament run.
And I think you told me, so they're not eligible, obviously, for the big dance or the NIT, right? But they can do one of there's some other smaller one, the CBI, I think it is.
CBI. They've got a couple other little tournaments that aren't NCAA affiliated that they can play in. But I sure do hope that the NCAA reverses its decision because it's been a seamless jump from Division II to Division I.
They're ready now.
By the Lancers. They've been amazing.
Let's continue to go inside the Lancers, presented by Magnolia Heating and Cooling, as this was our post-game interview with Milan Aqua, fresh off those 36 points in the huge win against New Mexico State. You had it going on from the outside, the inside. What was clicking for you in this game?
I definitely just got into a rhythm early, and I want to give my teammates credit for that. They found me in spots. They spaced the floor and allowed me to get to my spots. I feel like it was a great all-around collected effort for us, which helped us get the win.
So New Mexico State won the conference tournament last year. They punched their ticket to the big dance. So you guys knew this was a big test coming right out of the gate. You passed the test. I mean, right. What was the mood like in the locker room right now after the game?
Definitely excited, but we know this is just the beginning. We have another game Saturday, so we're going to enjoy it tonight, but we're moving on. Looking forward to the next game and ready to get that one too.
Milan, as you look at the season, do you feel like CBU is trending up still? Like the best is yet to come. You guys are continuing to get better and better and better as the season goes.
Definitely, I think that we're locked in on what coach is saying. We're buying in. Guys are making improvements daily, and then every week we're coming in ready to go, ready to get better, ready to fire. And I think that's paying off. We're definitely getting better by the week. So.
Now, I love watching Coach Croy on the sideline. He's so animated. I mean, he hunches down in a defensive position. He's smiling. He's clapping. What's it like? Does he get everyone fired up just the way he acts on the sideline?
He's definitely a character. We enjoy having his enthusiasm and how much he loves the game. That definitely helps us to compete every night. Even in practice, it's not one playoff, so. He's definitely a motivator. I for sure have to say that.
I think he still wants to play. I think he's gonna run on the court one of these times and start balling.
Yeah, he tries to talk to me about playing one-on-one here and there, but it's not happening.
Ravaged through it, and I get left with a little bit of fat. I want the meat.
You want the good stuff.
Yes, I do.
All right, so it's a big time for high school basketball. Again, follow us on Twitter because there's a bunch of games out there across the Inland Empire, including Centennial versus Norco tonight, that will benefit Justin Norman and his family, losing his wife Megan. It was New Year's Day, I believe, right? Suddenly. So there's a lot of games. So please help if you can.
Yeah, and if you don't know who to reach, you can always reach me on Twitter, and I can direct you to the people to take care of if you want to donate to Justin Norman and his family.
All right, thank you to everyone out there watching, and a big thanks, obviously, to Teen Vision TV 16, Johnny Nunez, Anthony Trujillo, which I don't think they even had school today, so they're not really doing anything anyways.
No.
They're hanging out with us. So
they had to drive over and hang out.
We will see you next Tuesday right here for the Inland Sports TV show. Geoff Gorham, I'm Pep Fernandez. We'll see you next time.